Hey, it's me, Morgan Lee. Welcome to my Brooklyn kitchen. On this series, I'm showing you how to make some of my favorite recipes, but I'm making them vegan. I have everything set up and we're about to make a vegan pot pie. One of the most difficult parts of making a pot pie is making that sauce that coats all the vegetables and goes on the inside, and that's called a veloute. So that's what we're gonna make right now before we mix all these delicious ingredients together. Okay, so in the pan is turned on. I have 1/3 cup of oil. So I'm gonna start adding tablespoons of flour. And you want this to cook for a minute or so. I'm gonna turn the heat up, that was just on low. And you want it to cook a minute or so, and that's gonna cook off the raw flavor of the flour. So that's 2 cups of our beautiful broth that we made, vegan broth. That's gone into here. Okay, I'm adding some more broth. I sweated down some onions, carrots, and celery for the filling. I also sweated down some delicious mushrooms. This is a mix of shiitake and Criminis mushrooms that I just sauteed in a pan until they shrunk down. And this, of course, is our chicken from the previous episode, which is our just spiced and cured tofu. So, and then I also have some frozen green peas. I love frozen peas. I'm just gonna mix them in at the end. They're the best. I mean, fresh peas are incredibly delicious, but frozen peas are totally great. Here we have our beautiful crust and all of our wonderful ingredients. So I'm just tossing this all together, making sure that it's all combined before we dump it into our pastry shell. I'm gonna add a little bit of Maggi, which, as you know, if you watch family recipes, is also a staple in my household. So this is gonna add some salt without adding actual salt. And because it's kind of like a soy sauce, it's going to add a little bit of like more than salty flavor. And then this is just a little bit of white vinegar. So just add like a few drops of white vinegar. This goes back to the aquavit days when I was cooking at aquavit, when we were making sauces or anything like that. It was always like, you always wanted to have that little hint of brightness in the back, a little bit of acidity, and that's where that comes from. That's just good sauce making or soup making. We used to make this corn soup, and we would always tinker with, oh, is it acidic enough? Is it not acidic enough? Because especially with corn, sometimes when you're getting the corn in, you're getting different quality levels. Sometimes it has more sugar, sometimes it doesn't. So you can't write an exact recipe for the amount of vinegar that needs to go into the corn soup, because some days the corn would be sweeter than other days. Okay, now I'm good with this. This is just for me, so I can put the spoon back in there. It needs a little bit more of this, it needs a little more of both. So this is just seasoning. When I do the ingredient amounts, I'm not gonna tell you how much of this to put in. You're gonna make this to your own taste. Try not to splash raw vinegar into your pie. And at the end of the day, I still might add a little bit of salt, but maybe not. I I've started to become a tiny bit more reserved with my salt intake, but not for any health reasons, just because I've started to enjoy not super salty flavors, although I love salt. Okay, well, super delicious. Okay. That's how it should feel in the back of your throat. You're like, you're salivating because you're eating this. It shouldn't just be like, boring. Okay. So now I'm gonna dump this in. Look how silky that is. So beautiful. Give it a little shake. And you kind of want to work quickly because even though, and I am gonna just jostle the ingredients around a little bit so there's no dry pockets, and then I make sure I have enough veloute in there. Be really careful not to scrape the crust. That would just ruin all the beauty that you already made. Okay, so we have our dough. Just take the plastic off, and you can very easily flip it onto your pan. So my oven is preheated to 450 degrees. Everything inside this pie is cooked except for the peas, but even those, if you thawed them, you could eat them. So what we're looking for is for our crust to cook and just everything to, all the flavors to mix together and everything to get just really hot and bubbly on the inside and delicious. Now, very important, especially with this pot pie, because it has a lot of vegetables in it, I'm going to cut some vent holes, and I'm gonna cut them, I haven't decided, but I think I'm just gonna go across like this. And odd numbers always look better than even numbers, so I did 5 little cuts. Okay, check this out. This is so beautiful. Okay, don't lean it too much. Okay, I'm going into the oven. I think it's gonna go in for like 35 minutes until the crust is baked, everything's bubbly, and then don't forget, you have to let it rest afterwards or else everything's gonna spill out. Things are still gonna spill out, but it'll also be way too hot to eat. Okay, 35 minutes. It's kind of precarious sitting up on this oven mitt like this because it could easily fall over, but I'm not gonna knock it over. And I'm gonna plate myself up some of this. Ooh, it looks so good. I'm gonna take a nice corner slice or corner scoop. It's still very juicy. Could maybe wait a little longer, but also turkey pot pie is supposed to be juicy. Oh, it's not, I keep saying turkey pot pie. In my mind, it's turkey pot pie. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look how good that looks. Literally, just take it in. It is so stunning, and I know it's gonna taste amazing. Okay. Let me try. I'm just gonna take a scoop of the filling first. It's got our beautiful tofu in there. You're not really fooling anyone that this is chicken by the look of it. Maybe if I would have crumbled it up, it could have looked a little bit more like pieces of chicken, but not really. And we're not really trying to fool anybody here. We're just trying to make delicious food. It's super good. And what I was saying in the tofu recipe video was I wanted the tofu to have a different flavor than the rest of the pot pie, and I achieved that. So you can really taste the spices that we put in the tofu. Let's look at the crust. Look at that flakiness. That is like so beautiful. Perfect. And thankfully we started with such an amazing stock, because that's really the base flavor of this whole dish. So I hope you guys make it. I'm doing all the recipe amounts just for you, even though I don't want to and I don't need to. So please make this and let me know how it goes. And don't forget to keep it fresh.
Thanks so much for watching till the end. I hope you learned some new techniques. I've started putting the ingredients lists in the description box below. I love any feedback, so please don't hesitate to comment. And if you like what I'm up to here at Missproduce, then please subscribe to my channel. Thanks again, you guys.